Hello there. Subtraction crossing 10 today. But first, here's our get ready questions. Can you complete these part whole models? Pause the video to have a go. How did you get on with those? In the first one, we have a bond to 20. 17 plus 3 makes 20. In our second one, 17 is our whole, and we're missing a part. One of the parts is 10, so we could do 17 subtract 10, which would leave us with 7. In the third one, it's the whole that we don't know, so we can do 17 plus 10, making 27. Our first question is 18 subtract 6. And my question to you is, which manipulative do you think would be useful for helping with this? I've gone for 10 frames, and I've put 18 in the 10 frame, that's my whole, and then I'm subtracting 6. So I'm going to cross off 6. You might not have 10 frames, but you can draw some, and you can draw the 18 counters inside, and then you can cross off 6 and see that you've got 10 and 2 more left over. 12. 18 subtract 6 is equal to 12. We know that 18 subtract 6 is equal to 12. But this time I'm going to show you a slightly different representation. I'm using 10 frames and counters again. But watch what happens this time. Instead of crossing out 6, I'm going to turn 3 over and another 3, because I know that 3 plus 3 is 6. So I've not crossed out or got rid of any counters this time. I've just turned them over. Pause the video and have a think. What does this show us? That's right. 18 is our whole, and that's all of the counters. We've not got rid of any. We've got 18 from the start to the finish. The 6 is just one of those parts. They're red, aren't they? We've turned them to be red. So we can still see 18 counters, and we can see that one of the parts is 6. The other part, the 12, is made up of the yellow counters. So we can clearly see 18 is our whole, 6 is a part, and 12 is the other part. It's your turn now. Have a go at question 1 on the worksheet. We can use 10 frames to solve these calculations, but we can also use a number line. 12 subtract 4. Here are my 10 frames, and here's my number line. 12 is my whole, so I've got 12 counters, and I've circled 12 on my number line. I've crossed off 4 counters, because that's what we're subtracting, and I've jumped back 4 places on the number line. I've landed on number 8, and I have 8 yellow counters remaining. So my answer is 8. 12 subtract 4 is equal to 8. Is using a number line and jumping back one at a time the most efficient way? Let's have a look. Ron has 14 plums. He eats 6 plums. How many plums does Ron have left? The first thing we're going to do is get some plums, or something to represent the plums. And here's my calculation. Okay, let's get rid of 6. There's 4, 5, 6. And on the number line, I can start at 14 and jump, 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 jump. Jump back 6 times and I get to 8. That's one of the ways we can complete this calculation. When we looked at addition, we were always trying to make 10. So here I've got 8 plus 6. And I'm going to take 2 of the plums from the 6 to make 10. On the number line, I've done a jump of 2 to get to 10. And now I've got 4 plums left over. I'm doing a jump of 4 to get to 14. It's exactly the same with subtraction. Here's Ron with his 14 plums, and we know he eats 6 of them. So let's get to that nearest 10. So I'm starting with 14, and I'm going to get rid of 4 straight away, which gets me to the nearest 10. Then I just have 2 more to eat, because 4 plus 2 makes 6. Another jump of 2 gets me to 8. I have 8 plums left. Or Ron does, anyway. That's more efficient, isn't it, than counting off 1 plum at a time, jumping to that nearest 10, and then doing another jump afterwards. It's your turn now. Have a go at questions 2 and 3 on the worksheet, and make sure you're jumping to that nearest 10. Eva is in the garden, and she's counted 15 birds. Oh, some of the birds have flown away, and now there are only 7. How many birds flew away? Well, let's get our 15 birds in our 10 frame, and 15 on our number line. Pause the video here. What's our calculation going to be for this question? Well, we have 15 altogether, that's our whole, and we're subtracting something, we're not sure how many yet. And in the end, there are 7 birds remaining. So let's jump to the nearest 10. So we're starting at 15, and we'll get rid of 5 to start with, and that's a jump to the nearest 10. We're trying to get to 7, aren't we? So we need to do a jump of 3 to get us to 7. So the answer then is, pause the video to have a think. 7? Is the answer 7? No. The answer here is how many birds flew away. We can't see them on our 10 frame, but we can see them on the number line. First of all, we removed 5, and then we removed 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 birds flew away. Eva's in the garden again, and this time she's counted 16 birds. Again, some have flown away, and now there are 9. How many birds flew away? Oh, counters this time. Can we represent birds with counters? Yes, of course we can. And our calculation will be 16 subtract something is equal to 9. Here's our number line, and we've identified 16 on there. We've also identified 9, because that's the number we're trying to get to. Okay, let's cross off some counters. I'm going to cross off all of these in this second 10 frame because I'm trying to get to the nearest 10. So I've crossed off 6. That's a jump of 6. I can see from my number line there's just one jump of 1 more to do. So I've done a jump of 6 and a jump of 1, making 7 altogether. 16 subtract 7 is equal to 9. It's your turn now. Make sure you do that jump to the nearest 10 while you're having a go at the rest of the questions on the worksheet.